Hello, everyone. This is Raman Kulkarni again for IUR 190G, and this video will be on the top 5 quotes I chose from Professor Lavians' quotes that he sent out. For number 5, I chose quote, "We don't like their sound, and guitar music is on the way out." This is pertaining to the Beatles. I specifically like this quote not only because I am personally a massive Beatles fan, but also because it speaks volumes to what factor innovation can play. At the time that Beatles were coming out and playing all their music, people thought it was very out of the ordinary, but in their mind it was innovative, and they sparked people's emotions, and they were able to cultivate a massive gathering and people who very enjoyed listening to their sound. Although it was different, that didn't mean it was bad, and they believed in themselves. The second quote I chose was, "Reagan doesn't have that presidential look." Once again, just similar to the Beatles, I'm a massive Ronald Reagan fan. I'm a fan of his economic policy. And specifically to this quote, I think it speaks volumes to how people's perceptions of you don't necessarily or shouldn't really have an effect on how you carry out your life and how you seek to do what you want to do and how you seek to become president or how you seek, just like the Beatles, to become very successful musicians or be a successful golfer or be a successful entrepreneur. No matter what people's perceptions of you are, you can still forge ahead and create your own path, because that's why you're given a mind. That's why you're given a body, to create what you want to create and do what you want to do. Number 3, I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers. Sitting here now recording a video on my computer, I know we can laugh at this with 2020 hindsight, but at the time, this was written by the chairman of IBM, which is quite ironic considering IBM is a leading technology producer now. But I think this quote is very surmising of how sometimes you can be blind to the potential gain of a certain product, rather not necessarily believing in a product because you think it's bad, and not actually going out and doing field testing or seeing, oh, well, how could this affect people's lives? How could this make people's lives easier? How could this create a new trend? How could this create a new fad? And kind of having this, putting on those blinders of like negativity and kind of a pessimism about a certain product. I think that's pretty awful. Number 4, the Americans have needed the telephone, but we do not. We have plenty of messenger boys. I think this quote is very telling of a fear of a change in status quo. Status quo, let's say, and this was written by Sir William Preece, who believed the messenger boys were always going to be the modern form of, sending messages and sending whatever you need to via the mail, etc. And clearly we know that's wrong, and sometimes having a fear of the change in status quo can prevent somebody from actually accepting change. And then number 5, a rocket will never be able to leave the Earth's atmosphere. For most Americans, we can associate with this, Neil Armstrong going to the moon, but I think this is about fear of the unknown and how having a fear of the unknown can sometimes really hinder you from taking that extra step, taking that extra mile, taking that extra effort to create what you want. And obviously Neil Armstrong and his crew and the rocket scientists and NASA were able to do that, and more power to them. So thank you for listening. That was my top 5. See you guys in class next week.